All right, so for everybody, we're going to do a little quick of Venus square Jupiter today. To remember as a collective right now that we're all feeling and wanting to engage is it's a good time to connect to new ideas, that we're all feeling a little more inspired than what we did within the past couple of months, especially during August, right? So you can say that this Venus square Jupiter energy is one that's going to actually allow us to go and search and feel and connect, but at the same time to not overindulge, right? Because we are feeling a little more energy towards what we want at the moment, right? But at the same time, we got to realize that this energy that we're also feeling at this time, we have to remember two things that to keep eye on the focus on what we've been building already. It's not time to try to figure out and start new things and look for outside situations that are going to resolve the problem. Because in reality, they're not right now. This Venus square Jupiter trans is going to be here for a while, at least for a week or so, and we're going to be dealing with this transit for a while longer while the planets are within retrograde and straighting movement, right? You have to remember also that these are two benefics, right? So they're testing. The two benefics are testing at this moment our indulgence and understanding, can we actually be happy with what we got? Because we've been building and building and building, and people keep forgetting that we are building during this time to grow. Let's see who's here. What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Gemini? Gemini Paladone, how are you, buddy? How you doing? How you doing? All right. Well, all right. So I'll keep on talking. All right. What? If you have any questions, Gemini. Well, if you are a Gemini, right? Most likely it says it on that. You have to remember two things, right? That for Geminis right now, it's about really understanding the stimulation that you bring to the table and the communication. Because a lot of this energy for Gemini is that you're feeling like really nobody wants to hear that inspiring person that you are, because you are the one that communicates, right? So there's been a lot of that lack of energy because you haven't been expressing yourself the way fully. You've been holding back because you're still trying to figure it out with logic. What happened to you in 2022 was no joke of you actually going in with a nervous breakdown and getting sick again when you're trying to figure out situations. In other words, too, you got to remember that the friends that you've had within the change of this time, to realize that there were some bad seeds within the good apples. It's time to realize that you got to take action with those that you connect with now and can fully express yourself. And this is through a collective energy, not through your old expression way that you used to be. With the South Node being here for Geminis, it's not a good time for them to indulge themselves in going back to the way of how they want to express themselves with logic, because it's not going to work. I want you guys to remember. Because I want you to remember that, all right, Gemini? I want you to remember this is a week outcast for you. Is the astrological forecast for you to understand two things. For you to understand that it's time for you to feel, and to understand also that the situations that you want to express, you just got to express them without no doubt. Even if you don't find the final equation or figure it out logically, it's time to just go with that expression and connect with those that allow you to be who you are. You are the one that brings the communication and all that to the people, that stimulate them with the words. Lately, it hasn't been happening though. Remember, that's a secret that you're holding back from that. You gotta let loose. You gotta remember the friends are now the ones that you have now know who are the ones that you're going to grow and cultivate with. You have to really keep the eye on the target right now. What's up, Kayla? How are you? How are you? How's everything? I'm waiting for a few people more to show up. I just got on here for a couple of minutes to talk about a little bit of where the alignments are going, of where the planets are heading with this Venus square Jupiter. This Venus square Jupiter is causing massive. Also, it's causing a lot of people to be excited right now to find new things, which is a good energy that Venus has been bringing, but it's squaring Jupiter because we have to remember to hold ourselves back because we're looking for too much outside to actually fulfill within. So it's a good time to enjoy the time where you're feeling a little more inspirational and also wanting to connect more with new things, because there's been a lot of clarity that's been kind of out of the fog this past week. So now that we have that clarity, remember that Venus square Jupiter is going to cause us to overindulge when we should actually remember that even though the sensation is there, don't be going for the false light. This is a time where we're being kind of tested and towards our values and our commodities, and understanding that we have to be grateful and appreciative This is also Venus square Jupiter transit that we're going through. So therefore, you cannot also go and fall for temptations right now. The affairs are in the game right now. People are wanting to just try something fast, just really be getting it done quick. And this is something that we have to remember, that we're building for foundations. We're building a foundation for life. We're not building a momentarily foundation. This is why it's taking longer. This is why the earth is on retrograde movement. And that motion of retrograde is within our collective to also take a stance and be still and not stagnant. As you're still, you will observe what you have around you, and you'll be able to build with the rhythm. Because as soon as the planets within the last of October and beginning of November start to go direct, you are not going to be able to build the way you're doing it, because it's time to go. You see, direct and retrograde. The planets have a movement like a seesaw. And that seesaw, we have to remember that we have to go within the flow of the universe in order to be in harmony. If not, we go against the current. And whenever that happens, you know what's been happening lately, every time that we try to take the bigger route and not use the ego wisely, because you have to use your ego. You just have to learn how to use it wisely. What's up? What's up, Christina? I haven't seen you in a while, right? So I want you guys to remember that thing. Hello, Vicky. How are you? I want you two things to remember, that this is, this is a short little astro update I'm giving. I'm going to be back like in about an hour to do a little more astrology and have people up. What do we do during the retrograde? During the retrograde, what you got to do is you got to think of it as a time to actually reap what you sow. So the universe is slowing you down, whether we like it or not. That's why the things that we've been trying to push forward, the things that we've been trying to do new are not working, right? It's like a slapback. And it's also a time that you've already built all that stuff. So you already planted it. Now it's time to watch it grow. So whatever you've been doing from the summer, right? And from the fall, all this energy, now you have to put it together and allow it to grow. Build on what you've already put out there to the world. Do not start something new. You have to be innovative. You have to be creative with what's not working. You have the time to build upwards, right? You have the time to connect. For example, I have like all the lives that I have recorded. What I've been doing during this retrograde is downloading them and making them into like videos, putting them on YouTube, Rumble, and other platforms, right? You got to put your work out there because you've already done it. Everyone's already put a way of expressing it. It's time to do that. It's time to not go against the current. You're going to get to start over again, new things, or start new relationships. It's not a good time to do it right now, because it's a time to realize that it's time to build with the ones you have and resolve the ones that are not working. By the time of late October, you'll actually have the clarity whether it's time to let it go completely or not. Follow with the rhythm of the universe. We chose to be here with who we are right now at this moment. Nobody chose for you. So now we got to stick with it. And we got to be the big people. And we got to remember also that these planets are having alignments that we haven't seen since 1521. That's over 500 years ago. Shit, that's a long time ago. The last time Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus and the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn. This is all 1521. So when the planets align like this with it, whenever they do, this is a remarkable time to realize that we are living through a time of change. It doesn't matter what you believe. All your beliefs are right and wrong at the same time. And the reason they're wrong, including mine where I was able to open up, is because we got to remember that we all have a piece of the puzzle and we got to connect it. Nobody has a whole entire answer. No scripture, no book, no one. We all have the answer together. This is secret, to walk alone in the path and find those that you connect with that come from spiritual backgrounds that are totally different from yours, from different beliefs. Because beliefs are not just spiritual. Beliefs are anything that make you act out of emotion, like even politics, like all these things that are going on. Those are beliefs, guys. Beliefs are more than you know. It's what makes us act out in an engagement of creating or destroying. You got to look into this as being the change, to take your beliefs aside and connect with a person that might have different beliefs, but yet you feel comfortable expressing yourself. And then you will see how you'll be able to connect to everything that you know. It's not that it's simple, but not easy. I 100% understand that. You know, I miss you too, Christina. Why can't you come up? You should come up for a little bit if you can while I'm here. So yeah, I want everybody to remember this because we at the same time that we're entering a little more prosperity, like we feel a little bit more like more engaging. We feel a little alleviation now to feel fulfilled with desires, right? But don't go over abundance, because see, now that Venus is going direct, it's not retrograde anymore, but all the other planets are. This is remembering the time that do not allow yourself to fall for a false light, for endeavors that really are too good to be true. Think about that. because this is something that's going to be creeping within you for the next week. Temptations, wanting to flirt or cheat if you're married, things like that. And this is okay to actually acknowledge it, but you have to understand that your actions are what's going to create the next transit. Because in astrology, this is all about the atmospheric weather. This is all about the forecast for the collective conscious, the astrological forecast for the collective consciousness. And once you understand that this is something that affects our emotion and human beings in the experience of life here, you'll be able to adapt better once you have your blueprint. I recommend everybody to go and download it. You can go whatever websites. There's Cafe Astrology, Astro.com, and you can do it for free and then download it. So whenever I give you readings or I talk about it, like, this, you'll understand where, your moon is and where your Mercury is, because it's important to know your placements. It's important to know your manual. Get your manual, put it next to you whenever you're in doubt in the spiritual journey within the next weeks, 6 weeks that we still have of this retrograde to build. That manual will guide you. It will tell you where you should focus your energy, because as the wheel moves, your Akash records move, everything moves, and it connects to the heavens. As above, so below, as below, so above, and there it is. This connection will allow you to understand yourself so much better. It's your DNA. It's a blueprint of God, right? So, hello, hey guys, get a reading. You won't regret it. Thank you, Alicia, because it's really inspirational to have the people that I've been giving readings to, like the majority here are my followers, and they still come back, right? Because most astrologers or people that get readings, they get the reading from the person and never hear from them. Because this is where you have to find the people that are authentic and sincere and will connect to you. And thank you, Alicia, because that's what I'm here. I want you guys to get to know your own self so you can go with the growth. This is not about changing people's minds. This is about connecting with the ones that you connect spiritually and putting and lowering the spiritual ego. Because it's like, we all know it all. I get it. We all know it all because the spiritual community has gone through excessive training. But now we got to focus on what we master in. What are you good at? A master of all traits will never be the master of one. Therefore, it'll be the puppet or the queen's jester for life. Do not fall to that. Because this is where a lot of the spiritual psychosis is coming to break, where we are trying to engage so much of what spirituality is. Which spirituality and reality is all about your path, your purpose, and understanding that you can connect spirituality to whatever you're doing. Even if you're a lawyer, you can bring and become a spiritual lawyer and disengage from the matrix. You got to think bigger. A spirituality, I want to be a spiritualist. Okay, but that's what most people are thinking now. You got to stick to what you know. Stick to what you know and push it out there. And I promise you this, the universe will give you such force and strength that you will always be correct within that of what you are expressing out that you know. You have to. This is a must, because this is such a time where we have a little bit of that open window to put ourselves out there and miracles happen. Miracles happen during the time that the planets are engaging within portal openings, because they're making angle of friction in the sky that causes energy to be abundant and for us to take the advantage. But the problem is right now, within that glare and that fog, within all this, we have a lot of what we're looking at, what we don't have and don't realize what we have. Looking at the whatnot and not seeing the haves. And this is missing every single target. And this has been happening. I've acknowledged and caught myself too when I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to stop right now and realize this is retrograde. I'm trying to build, because in our mind, to be productive is to only move forward. Yes, I get that, but there's always to build upward. You can't build upward while you're building forward. The retrograde allows you to. It's giving us that motion of time within annoyance, because the annoyance is because you're trying to find something within outside yourself that you're not connecting to right now. The reason you're feeling of lack of purpose or not connecting the dots or not even inspired, but what inspired you before is because you've leveled up. We've all changed. And now you got to find the circuit that you plug into, and you'll light up, and the frequency to ascend and to facilitate the journey, because it's simple but not easy. It's not an easy weather route that we're going towards. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give you the icing with the cake too. But at the same time, we have to build that cake. And that comes with a lot of the work that we're going to have to go through this storm, where we think it's going to be a mass awakening from what they're showing. Actually, it's going to be more of a critical mass. And that's going to cause a lot of people to be confused and taking step backwards, to not believe. I don't know what to believe anymore. That's what people are saying. That's because they're weak, because they have to have an outside source to tell them what's real and what's not. That's within you. and knowing that you can get the answers from whatever you've been learning and connecting. What's keeping you back is that belief of whatever it is that you don't want to let go and engage with the one that you are now growing with. That's the secret, that you have to let go of that person who was you completely by now. We've had 10 years to learn, and the past 5 years since Christmas of 2017, we've had the time to release all that of whom we were to now be who we are. That's a plain truth. And the universe doesn't give a flying fuck if you got something to do. This is the time to do it. I'm trying to tell you, because within the next 2 months, you're going to see people trying to resolve the things that they know they could have resolved right now. And you cannot fall into that energy with the ones that you live around with, or the ones that you engage, or your friends or coworkers, because see, they're at a different level. They're at a different amp. So what do? You got to put your energy there where you want it and where it's wanted, and where you know you feel that you can just walk around and jump and express yourself and nobody silences you. This is the secret for you to allow and have some kind of comfort in your home, and also be able to not engage in energies that do not really have any importance to you. Because if you don't fulfill your desire, how can you love yourself if you're not doing what you want to do? That's the first thing. You can't love yourself if you're not doing your vocation. When once you find that vocation, and remember, vocation isn't just a job. If you still got a job out there, the vocation is part of who you are meant to be, and start putting it out there right now. Start engaging it with that extra time you have. Your spirit's only calling out to be free, and it's only going to get more tense because it's already unlocked. So it's finding a way out through your physical body to connect to the spirits that you've been connecting with in the past 2 years. The people that allowed you to express yourself, the ones who understood you. All right? All right, guys. I will be back later. I love you so much. Thank you very much. All right.